During the 7th year anniversary, they EZA'd both the 3 years and the 4-year anniversary LRs. During the 8th year, they EZA'd the 5th year. So, I mean, we know, right, that the upcoming 9th year anniversary will feature the EZA for both LR AGL UI Goku as well as Evolution Blue Vegeta. But we care more so right now about UI Goku. If you want to see a Vegeta version of this video, let me know in the comments. And this video, I usually like to do these you know, don't fumble this EZA type of videos, but these videos just got better because now I can actually show you, and I will show you, what the defensive calcs look like for the EZA concept that I show you, so that way you can actually see how good or how bad the EZA concept I came up with actually is. And it's just for me to basically show you what I want to see out of this EZA, and I would love for you to let me know what you personally want to see out of this EZA, because I mean, I can't think of a character that's going to be more hype EZA wise than this character right here throughout the entire 2024 year. I mean, maybe LRSTR Vegito, but he may EZA during New Year's. We'll see how it all works, but let's actually hop into this. And I will say, for today's really quick challenge, if of course you haven't done this in the last, I would say 24 hours, you got caught lagging today. I need you under that sun getting that vitamin D. All right, you got caught that's sounds a little weird, but you got caught lacking today for not touching grass. You got to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It is what it is. Drop down and give me 3 push-ups additionally. Now, if you have actually touched grass in the last 24 hours, then you can skip. Thank you for, you know, keeping in contact with Mother Earth. Or wait, is it Mother Earth? That sounds weird. Planet Earth, Mother Nature. It's one of the two. You know what? Maybe I got caught lacking today. Let's just move on with the video. Anyways, thank you for being here, by the way. I appreciate you. So let's just go over this current UI Goku. So this Goku right here, he sucks defensively, and that was my main criticism of him since day one. He's one of those characters where I used to always say that if he didn't dodge, you die, and we're now in the realm of no matter what, he dies, right? So this is based off of what I know. This is Goku's defensive calcs turn 1. Okay, so turn 1, his max defense, essentially, with like a, you know, assuming a 200% leader skill and assuming all of Goku's links are active, you're looking at 212k to defense, which again is not good by any means. If, of course, if you're able to get that dodge that gives you 30% to your defense, your 212 now turns into, let me go ahead and pull this up here, 276. So again, still, I mean, back in the day, it definitely helped out a ton, but this is definitely not the ballpark that we really want to be in, especially with no guard, no damage reduction, anything of the sort, not even raising defense on super. Again, this guy is not great by any means, defensively speaking, at least. So this is the EZA concept I came up with, and then I'm going to show you again all the different calculations for that. So simple, I just gave him raise his defense for 1 turn on both 12 and 18 key. I buffed his 150 start of turn to 159. I gave him attack plus 59% when performing a super attack. He didn't have that before. I kept the great chance of dodging. I gave him this. So he gets key plus 1 up to 5 and reduces the damage received plus 10% up to 30% with each attack evaded, including super attack. So this, of course, is a permanent buff. This 30% damage reduction isn't going to go away, right? So Goku before, he got a permanent key buff for every attack he evaded, and that stayed with him throughout the entire fight. But no defensive capabilities came, it was just key. So now he's getting key and a max of 30% damage reduction. So imagine, you know, we're again, you know, at this realm of 200 something K defense, but now you have 30% damage reduction tacked on top of that, which of course, you know, looks pretty good. I mean, it's not good, but it's a lot better than what just this by itself, right? And then he gets plus an additional defense plus 59% up to 159%, and reduces damage received by 10% up to 29% within the same turn after each attack, after evading. Okay, just with each attack evaded, right? The reason why I did 29% was just to do a total of, 59% damage reduction. But this, of course, is not permanent, and this, of course, is not permanent. So you would essentially need to dodge 3 attacks per turn to basically have this character look as good as he possibly can, with an extra 159% to defense and a total of 59% damage reduction. High chance of launching an additional super attack. I changed that for medium, and I changed his 70% HP heal to 77. Sorry, that's literally all that I did. So definitely gave him a big, juicy defensive buff here. And the reason why I made this here, I put this here instead of it being like a permanent buff, was because I just don't think Dokkan will do that. They really want you to dodge with this character. So when he dodges within the same turn, he's going to definitely get some pretty, big buffs, which is what he already has. He already has a buff within the same turn. So I see them. Like, they purposely did not give him defense with each attack evaded permanently. They gave it to him only when evading attack in the same turn. So I'm just trying to keep that same theme alive here and not change too much. Like, I think this is definitely a realistic EZA scenario. And maybe not with all the specific numbers, but, just the bones of it, right? So keeping the key and, guarding for 1 turn or whatever the case is. Or, again, I don't know how they'd work this, but damage reduction here. And yeah, so let's just take a look at what this guy looks like defensively, right? So remember, he is now raising defense on super, which of course is a big deal. On top of that, he does have a now high chance of launching additional super attacks. So let's just do the numbers, right? Let's just show you what the numbers look like, defensively speaking, if this character here, LRAGL UI Goku, simply entered the turn, he did not dodge a single time, but he launched 3 super attacks. So what would those numbers look like, right? So if I go to the calculator, again, I already did all this, beforehand, so don't really worry about it. But this number right here, so this is Goku, essentially start of turn now. So this is Goku with the 159% defensive buff, all of his links active, the leader skill. So it changes from 212 to 220, right? But again, it's nothing big. Now remember that he does have a permanent 30% damage reduction. So if this was, let's say, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, you're going to essentially have this with 30% damage reduction, of course, before super attacking. So let's take a look at what Goku looks like after 1 super without dodging a single time. That's going to look like this: 286 K defense. If he super attacks 2 times, you're looking at a total of 352 K defense. And if he managed to super attack all 3 times, you're looking at 418 K to defense. And that just comes from him being able to raise his defense and him having a higher chance of launching additional super, plus the hidden potential additionals if you have that, right? So this Goku, just with this ECA, and not even including dodging anything, right? Just with the 3 super attacks factored in, you're gonna look at 418k defense, which is literally double a little bit less than double of what this character had prior to EZA, after dodging an attack, and launching all those supers, all that great stuff. So I think we can all agree, defensively, he's already a lot better. Now, again, if you enter a turn, let's say you don't dodge at all, but let's say you're turn 5, where you already built up your key and you already built up your damage reduction, and for that turn he just happens to not dodge at all, then you would be at 418k defense. If 418k defense, sorry, I think I said 80, I don't know, but 418k defense he'd be at, with 30% damage reduction, which of course is infinitely better than what he had before. But that's essentially this character's like floor, right? In terms of him being able to launch his own additional super attacks and stuff like that. Let's take a look at what this character looks like once we start factoring in this. Let's see, what does LRAGL UI Goku look like without supering, but with his full passive active. So we're talking about the 159, we're talking about the links, and we're talking about a scenario where he essentially has dodged 3 times, without launching a super attack just yet, right? And that's going to look like this right here. So 569k defense is what Goku will be at if he is on turn. He has dodged 3 super attacks, but he has not yet launched his own, attacks just yet. So that is basically like, this would be essentially his max passive within a turn, right? Obviously the defense reset, the 159 resets per turn, but within a turn, his max defense gets up to 569k. Now remember, once you have dodged 3 times, you have not only gotten this permanently, but you've gotten a temporary 29% damage reduction as well. So now you're looking at 569k defense with 59% damage reduction without launching a single additional super, or launching a single super attack just yet. If he launches 1 super attack, let's say you don't get this high chance, or you don't get the hidden potential one, he goes from 569 to 740. You're at 740k defense with 59% damage reduction. If Goku launches 2 super attacks, you're at 911k with 59% damage reduction. And then of course, if he launches a 3rd super attack, you are at 1 million, almost 1.1 million defense with 59% damage reduction. But the balance of this comes from him resetting all of these numbers. So again, when he comes back the next turn, he's going to, because you haven't dodged a single time, or you haven't launched a single super attack, he's going to essentially be at this again, right? 220 with 30% damage reduction. So his floor is 200k, 220k with 30% damage reduction. How high he can get is 1 million, essentially, right? With 59% damage reduction. And either of those, whether it's the 220 with 30% damage reduction or whatever, is infinitely better than him just having 200k defense with no damage reduction or no other defensive abilities whatsoever. So let me know what you think about this. I mean, I think this is definitely a good way to EZA this character. I think his defensive numbers need to, at max, breach over 1 million. The thing is with bosses nowadays is if you just have 1 million, it's sad to say this, but if you have 1 million defense and you're not guarding, you're not reducing damage received, or you don't have any, you're gonna take a hit, you're most likely going to die, right? It's just the way the game works. So 1 million defense with 59% damage reduction for that 1 turn is definitely strong, but it's not the most broken defensive character we have in the game. It's just not, right? So it would be a great way to catch LR AGL UI Goku up to meta without making him the most busted, stupid thing on the entire planet. But again, a character that can hit 59% damage reduction within a turn with 1 million defense and great chance to dodge, it is a very extremely powerful character. I wouldn't put him at number 1 at that point. Or maybe could he be number 1 at that point? I don't know why my voice just got so high there, but could he be number 1? I wouldn't consider him that, because he resets. His floor is so low based off the way they initially built him that you could again just have a turn, right, where you don't dodge and he gets cooked. So because of that, I wouldn't put him number 1. His floor is so low, but his highs are very high. You definitely need to consider him number 1. You'd have to have a more consistent character overall. And I mean, I guess you could also just buff this up, to 180 or 200%, which at that point you wouldn't do all this here. If this was 200% here, you wouldn't do this, because then his defensive number would just get out. It would be stupid. Like you wouldn't really want to do all that, because then you'd have a broken character, right? So yeah, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and peace. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this for other characters where I include the calculations, or for LR Evolution Blue Vegeta, who definitely needs a little bit more work with an LR AGL UI. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.